Sell me on why a guy needs hair and makeup artistry.
I've never once had pushback.
Are you saying my face is greasy? You don't believe the experience is valuable for men. All right, so have you ever wondered, do you even need a makeup artist? And if you're going to bring a makeup artist to a luxury photo shoot, how do you make sure that your client is excited by that? So I've got Ashley here today. And Ashley, you were asking that very question. Tell me about it, Ashley. What is your concern with makeup, or what is the client's concern? Give me the lowdown.
So, my biggest concern is when someone does not want to have professional makeup done, or if it's particularly a man or a child especially like in a mini marathon,
Mhm.
where they don't need that, and making sure that people understand the value of why the price is the way that it is, even if they're not getting those services done or they really don't want it.
Gotcha. And meanwhile, as I understand it, you have no problem selling makeup to your women clients. Is that right?
Yeah, I have no problem.
Okay. So you tell me, if I'm a woman and I have any pushback at all on makeup, how do you get that woman client excited about it? Let's start there.
So I've actually never had someone give the pushback. My biggest way that I sell it is you deserve to be pampered.
Oh,
And
love it.
it's just like going to the spa.
Yeah.
You come in, you don't want to deal with getting your hair and your makeup done. And I always use myself
Yeah.
as an example. I am a hair and makeup artist. That's where I
Oh,
started. Before I was a photographer, I was a hair and makeup artist. It's how I put myself through college. I hate
yeah.
doing my own hair and makeup when I have to do a shoot for myself, because then I say, "Oh, it didn't come out the way that I wanted it to," even if it's fine for everybody else. It's my own insecurities in myself. When
Yeah.
someone else is doing that for you, they're taking away all of that stress. I want you to come. I want you to be pampered. I want you to feel amazing and just relax and have a really fun experience. So I'm selling that experience, if that makes sense. And
It
I've never,
totally makes sense.
I could just get lucky, but I've never once had pushback
Yeah.
about, having that done, because I sell it as the experience.
Well, I love it. I mean, you totally sold me on that. And I think that this obviously is something you're passionate about it. You wouldn't be a makeup artist. You wouldn't have that training if you weren't passionate about it. So it's an easy sell when you believe in it so strongly. And you made me a believer in everything you just said. So I heard you're going to relax, you're going to be pampered, you deserve this. I mean, great selling points. Sometimes you don't even need to say them for a client to feel that. So now here's my challenge: sell me on why a guy needs hair and makeup artistry.
So, and that is where I struggle,
That's what I thought.
particularly
Okay.
particularly because, I will typically say you're getting, we'll powder you up so that we make sure that you're not shiny. I do talk about, making sure that they feel good and pampered, but I do feel as though, because, and I maybe it's because I have either really young men, or I'm
Mhm.
getting teenage boys that, like, God forbid we put something on their face, or I have
Uh-huh.
older men that come in for a headshot and they're more in a rush because they're not sold on an experience, they just want the thing. And I
Yeah.
feel that that's particularly where I struggle.
Yeah.
Why am we spending this extra money for the same quote unquote experience? We're not spending an hour, doing their hair and
Yeah.
makeup. So it's a little different. And
Okay.
I struggle trying to figure it out.
So yeah, I think that's the major thing. What I'm finding here is that when I asked why do women need makeup, you were like, "Oh my God, here's why." No hesitation. You were like, "But, you're gonna relax. You deserve this. This is gonna feel great. Every woman has this." And it was just such a immediate and passionate response. I'm still looking for why guys need makeup, because even the one compelling thing that you said in there is you said, "We're going to make sure you don't have shine." And even that is not compelling to me if I'm a guy, because then it's like, are you saying my face is greasy? I mean, it's like even
Yeah.
that one comment is sort of backfiring. So I think what you need to find is, first, you need to think, is this really valuable for men? And if you don't believe it with the same conviction that you believe it for a woman, then I would maybe consider not offering it. But I'm going to now sell you on why I think guys need makeup. And I'm going to sell it to you in one sentence. Do you think, Ashley, that Brad Pitt ever goes on set without first checking in with a makeup artist?
No. He
That
will
is
always
it.
check.
That is it. That is the only sentence you need to say. You would say that to your guy. If he says, I don't think I need makeup, you say, oh, really? Do you think Brad Pitt ever goes on to set without a makeup artist? And just leave it there. And he will say
Good
no.
point.
And correct. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that you're camera ready because even world's sexiest man in America still needs hair and makeup because we want you to be camera ready. That's it. So
That makes
put
a
it
lot of
into
sense.
terms that they can be excited by, that they can relate to, that, I mean, who doesn't want to look like Brad Pitt? Like another trick I do is whenever I'm posing men, I don't do this with women, but I often do this with men. I call the poses the name of the guy that inspired the pose. So I said, oh, okay, we're going to go do the Michael Douglas now. Okay, hold on. I want you to do this Tom Cruise pose. Oh my God, have you seen this Brad Pitt thing from this magazine? And they're like, they want that. Who doesn't want to look like Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, whoever? Throw out the name that inspired you to the pose. And so I'm constantly flipping through magazines. I bring those images up on my phone and I say, look, we want you to look like this. So you're already deeply invested that you understand for women, it is about the experience. But the major disconnect I'm hearing is that you don't believe the experience is valuable for men.
And I don't disagree with that. Like
Okay.
I said, I've had a really difficult time trying to believe it myself on how I could
There
even
you go.
convince my husband.
There you go. So that's how I would handle men. Now, I assume it's going to be, I heard a little bit in there about, oh, with our younger guys or with young boys. Okay, so I'm going to convince you now of children. Why might children benefit? Now, I'm not going to say, I don't know, do you think that this child would ever go on set? Because, most moms don't necessarily see their child as celebrity children. But for mom, what is going to capture mom's attention? Oh my God, do you ever find that your kids just run away when you bring out the brush and are trying to style their hair? Is that just so stressful or is it just me? How would you respond to that, Ashley? You have many kids running around, right? So do
Yeah, I
you
have a
find it
lot.
stressful when you have to get them ready?
Very much so, especially my 7-year-old, the one that will
There
not
you
let you put
go.
a brush in her head.
There you go. That's right. So kids do act differently when they're in different settings and with different adults. And they're always going to act one way with their mom and a different way when they're, somewhere else, right? Different with their teacher, different with their photographer. So what you're going to pitch to mom, because now you're not talking to the child, you're talking to mom. So mom needs to buy in on this. So you're just going to ask that question. So you see how just that question gets us there. Like, oh my God, is it just me? Or do you find it so incredibly stressful when you have to get your kid ready for photos and they won't let you brush their hair? That's it. That's the question.
Okay, that makes
And then they're
sense.
going to be like, absolutely. And they're going to tell me a story like you did. Yes, my 7-year-old always runs away. Okay, don't worry because none of that stress is on your shoulders. We take care of it. That's why we have our makeup artist. So it's not like we're there to do pageant makeup because I even joke with my clients. I say, yeah, my makeup artist is allergic to makeup on kids. So no, we're not going to make her look like, a pageant queen. What we're going to do is we're going to help her feel special and we're going to make sure that you don't have to stress. So this session will be smooth and seamless and everyone's going to have fun. So
That
there's
makes
it.
sense.
So but now, okay, let's take another direction from this because I think whenever you're designing a shoot, from She Sells, I talk about Lux Your Service, and it's like understand the deeper needs, expand the offering. So we want to be able to provide more than a client would expect. We go beyond the basic. So, do you need makeup artistry? That's a question each artist needs to solve. I will tell you, I've made the decision that yes, we do, because there was a brief moment when COVID was raging. We had to shut down, and then we came back in action, and we decided, okay, we're not going to have makeup artistry for the first 2 months. And I found out in just 2 months' time, I hate this because we were doing so much extra work in post production to get our clients to the stage that they would naturally be at just from working with the makeup artist team. So now, like, we had to fix flyaways we never had to fix before, and we had to even out their lashes or brows in post and, add color that they didn't know they had to add. So even just getting people to that place where they're camera ready is something that most clients are not skilled at. And with guys, yeah, we wanted to fix their hair. We wanted to make sure that they look fresh, like they're Brad Pitt camera ready. And for kids, the hair was wild. So I decided really quickly, the time is going to happen either in post-production or the time is going to happen with a trained makeup artist. But the advantage of having the trained makeup artist, I'm sure you'd agree with this, is the way that they can set the client at ease. that builds a whole new dimension of comfort, of professionalism. It elevates the experience. So as long as you're a believer in it, your clients are going to be believer too. But let's imagine we didn't have this conversation. We're talking a week ago and you're just still like, I don't see value in having a makeup artist for men and for children. I'm going to convince you of this another way. Ashley, how much do your portraits cost per image?
250.
And how much does your mini marathon cost?
490.
Okay, and they're getting 2 images?
They're getting 2 images, yes.
So even if we had 0 extra services, they're still saving money because $250 times 2 is 500. You're only charging them 490. So
That
even there, they're saving money. So you need to appreciate for yourself that this, and if you want to go a deeper discount, you can. For a while there, I did have a time slot that if you chose the first session of the day, we would have no makeup artistry and it was $100 less. But, I'll tell you what, about the pink tax, right? How women always pay more for the same products essentially as men. Have you heard of this before?
Yes.
Yeah, I got frustrated with that. I was like, why? Why should my guy clients come in and get 2 amazing portraits and spend $100 less than my women clients do to get the same 2 amazing portraits? And yes, you could argue one has makeup, one doesn't. But ultimately, what I'm selling is I'm selling the images. And as part of the images, I'm selling the way they feel when they select those images. I'm selling experience. So everybody's getting the same great 2 images and the same great experience. Why wouldn't they pay the same amount of money, even without the service?
That makes a lot of sense. I honestly did
Yeah.
not even think about it as far as image pricing goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So once I just elevated that, I had a challenge in my head. I said, is it fair? I mean, I'm always going to say, is it fair? Because I'm such a middle child. So I was like, okay, if I have 15 minutes of makeup service for a guy, but an hour service for a woman, is that fair? And the answer still is yes, because I'm paying the makeup artist to show up. And so, that's still dollars out the door. I'm enhancing the image because now I know problems are going to be solved that I'd have to be paying a retoucher to solve. So now I'm just solving that in advance. So for all these reasons, I was like, the value is the same. I feel great if a person comes in and gets that service and it only takes 10 minutes. And I feel great if a person comes in and gets that service and it takes an hour. End of the day, they're both getting the same 2 images. So the value is identical to me.
that makes a lot of sense. I truly did not think about it that way. So thank you.
Yeah. So we've now solved this in 2 ways. So I have homework for you. I need you to start flipping through men's magazines and understand, and I'm sure you already intuitively understand this, but really like drill it into your mind. What is the process that celebrity men go through to look great on photos? And the more little things that you can think of, not that you necessarily have to express it to your client, but the way that, like you said, oh, I don't have to justify makeup to women. Yeah, I believe you don't have to because I believe you are projecting total confidence. But now you need to go back to the drawing board and say, how can I become a believer in the service for men? And then how can I project that? It may not need to be with a long paragraph of words. It might just be one question. But I think that if you're not believing in it, they're never going to believe in it.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, good luck with those bookings and bring all that confidence. And I think you are set for loving that makeup now. I think it'll be good.
Very good. Thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate it.
All right, Ashley. Talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Want to fix your biz? If you're a professional photographer or an aspiring pro, you need to join me in the best business group on the internet, Rise to the Top with Megan DiPiero. Ask your business question there in the group and you might just be my next podcast guest. Join me at rttt.life.